Yesterday was night 2 of the Republican National Convention, the biggest week for Trump campaign staffers who aren't currently in prison. And the night got off to a rocky start when one speaker was pulled at the last minute for tweeting out an anti-Semitic QAnon conspiracy theory. And I, for one, am really glad, because I don't know about you, but when I sit down to watch the Republican National Convention, I don't want to hear anything crazy. But I'm worried that this does set a dangerous precedent. Because now there's a 95% chance that Trump also gets the boot come Thursday. That wasn't a tweet. I just retweeted it, guys. What's wrong with you? But after that rocky start, who better to smooth things over than Vice President of the United States and elevator music in human form, Mr. Mike Pence. Pence appeared in a video that was too boring for me to remember what happened, except that he was standing outside Abraham Lincoln's boyhood cabin, and he also took the bold step of appearing alone with a woman who was not mother, or as he calls it, doggy style. Then later on there was a segment making the case that Trump is also a feminist hero because he's hired a bunch of women. And although some people might argue, you have to admit, Trump is an ally to women. Just look at the facts. He appointed a young up-and-coming woman to a high-level position despite having zero experience. He gave women like Kellyanne Conway and Sarah Sanders the opportunity to lie to the American people, a job traditionally reserved for men. And he alone stood by Ghislaine Maxwell when no one else would. If that doesn't make him a feminist, then maybe I don't know what the word means. But the main event of the evening was the speech from First Lady and woman who just betrayed James Bond, Melania Trump. She showed once again why she is the most popular Trump.
I want to acknowledge the fact that since March, our lives have changed drastically. The invisible enemy, COVID-19, swept across our beautiful country and impacted all of us. My deepest sympathy goes out to everyone who has lost a loved one, and my prayers are with those who are ill or suffering. I don't want to use this precious time attacking the other side, because as we saw last week, that kind of talk only serves to divide the country further. This modern world is moving so fast, and our children face challenges that seem to change every few months. Just like me, I know many of you watch how mean and manipulative social media can be. We all know Donald Trump makes no secrets about how he feels about things. Total honesty is what we as citizens deserve from our president.
Okay, is it just me? Or does every Melanias speech seem like she's taking shots at her husband? She called it COVID-19 instead of China virus. She said people on social media are too mean. And she said that America deserves an honest president. I was watching this like, damn, she may have gotten rid of the trees in the Rose Garden, but she made sure to bring her own shade. I mean, no wonder Trump was sitting there the whole time, looking like he was watching his own colonoscopy. But aside from Trump, it turns out that a lot of people really loved Melania's speech.
Melania Trump delivered a very impressive speech from the Rose Garden, the White House,
addressing pointedly and movingly the #1 crisis issue facing the United States right now, the coronavirus pandemic.
She did touch on and did speak to the reality that is going on in a way that we haven't heard many other, if any other speakers really do. She acknowledged what people are feeling.
Ah, yes, it's true. Melania spoke with optimism and empathy when everyone else was dark and fearful. It's almost like when they went low, she went high. Have I heard that somewhere before? And I know right now you might be saying, come on, Trevor, why does Melania deserve praise for just sympathizing with coronavirus victims? Well, I'll tell you why. Have you seen the rest of the convention? Right? Everyone else is acting like the pandemic never happened or that it magically ended a long time ago. Like, I know the bar is low, but at least she stepped over it. It's easy to be best when everyone else is being worst. And maybe you don't think Melania's sympathy is worth anything, but sympathy is all she can offer because she doesn't have any power. And don't tell me, no, she should force Trump to do more about corona. Guys, Melania can't make Trump do shit. If she had any power, do you think she would let him dress the way he does? I mean, look at them. Melania looks like she's got fashion designers on speed dial, whereas Trump Looks like he stole his suit off of a parade balloon version of himself. Now, Melania wasn't the only Trump family member who spoke last night. We also heard from the president's youngest daughter, Tiffany, who said she was having difficulty finding a job right now. I mean, dude, can't her dad at least hook her up with a job in the mailroom? Or I guess in this case, a job sabotaging the mailroom? And of course, there was an appearance by the ultimate forgotten man, Eric Trump, who took full advantage of the fact that perhaps for the first time in years, his dad was probably listening to him.
In closing, I'd like to speak directly to my father. I miss working alongside you every single day, but I'm damn proud to be on the front lines of this fight. I'm proud of what you're doing for this country. I'm proud to show my children what their grandfather is fighting for. You are making America strong again. You are making America safe again. You are making America proud again. I love you very much. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.
Man, I feel bad for Eric. Imagine having to talk to your dad through the TV. It's sad, because you can talk to someone through a TV, but there's no way to know if they're listening. Isn't that right, J-Lo? That's nice of you to say. I miss you too. And knowing the Donald, Eric's speech is probably the exact moment he decided to go to the concession stand to get more nachos. But aside from the Trump kids trying to earn a thank you text from their dad, the Republican convention so far has been a standard affair. You know, just a lot of speeches and promotional videos. But last night, there was one big issue that overshadowed the whole thing.
President Trump and the Republican Party may have violated a federal law meant to separate government functions from political ones.
The president hosting a naturalization ceremony from inside the White House with the Marines. Okay. Using his power as president to pardon a bank robber turned activist. Democratic members of Congress this morning are set to investigate whether Secretary of State Mike Pompeo broke any laws by speaking from Israel.
The White House was used as a prominent backdrop, and multiple official duties were conducted at a campaign event, which is possibly a violation of the Hatch Act, which prohibits government employees from participating in some political activities while on the job. But it is worth noting that President Trump has the final say to determine if someone violated the Hatch Act, and he has made clear that positive optics outweigh any potential ethics violations.
Wait, hold up. So the person who determines whether there's an ethics violation is the person who's committing the ethics violations? You know, sometimes America seems like the most advanced country with its laws and checks and balances, but every now and again you're like, wait, did nobody notice this? It's almost like America's laws were designed by the same people who designed the Death Star. This is an impenetrable and flawlessly designed system. But we're going to leave a little gap in here so somebody can come in and blow the whole thing up. That's just going to be for one movie, right? No. All the movies. Keeps things interesting. And look, I get why Trump wants to do these events. It's good TV, yo. I mean, that live surprise pardon, that has some strong Roman Emperor energy. Plus, I'm not going to lie, that naturalization ceremony, that was inspiring. You know, because say what you want, becoming an American citizen is a long and hard process, so congratulations to those people. Plus, it's extra cool having Donald Trump give your naturalization ceremony, because as soon as it's done, he's also the guy who'll tell you to go back to where you came from, so it's a full service experience. I know that most people don't give a shit about the Hatch Act, and I get it. But the idea behind it is pretty cool. The idea is that taxpayers shouldn't foot the bill for the presidential campaign of a guy that they might not support. I mean, think about it. American taxpayers paid for the Rose Garden. American taxpayers pay for the Secretary of State's travels. So those things shouldn't be used for partisan purposes. It should be used for nonpartisan things like Easter egg hunts or presenting fake evidence to get America into a war. And even more importantly, the president shouldn't treat powers like granting pardons or naturalizing immigrants as personal favors that he can hand out to get votes for himself. Because that's not the leader's job in a democracy. And if Trump can't be bothered to maintain even the cosmetic appearance of democracy, it's not his second term that people should be worried about, it's his third and his fourth.